Okay, it's October 22nd, 2010, and this is another presentation of freechartvideos.com, using time-honored techniques to understand the modern markets. This video is for educational purposes only and is not intended to be any form of investment advice. I can draw lines on charts, but only you can make your own conclusions from your own due diligence and make investment decisions that are suitable for your financial situation. And I'm not a licensed professional. I'm just a guy that draws lines on charts. Let's look at Bank of America. Okay, why Bank of America? Well, I guess I just want to live dangerously. Obviously, there are a lot of fundamental issues going on with the stock, with the company, that are affecting the stock. And but just the same, I see some things going on that I think technically should be pointed out. Bank of America made its bottom back here in the spring of 2009, like just about every other stock you look at, and recovered pretty strongly up into the low teens. Got as high as almost 20, but it appears to me, if we zoom in on this chart just a little bit, it appears to me like what we ended up with after that nice run was 1, 2, a double top. Now, what is a double top? Well, it's when you make one high, come back down to a low, come up, make a second high, and then you break lower than the distance of the lower than the levels of the valley in between those two peaks. So we have done that. So how do you figure on what the implications of that are? And I'm going to use our closing bars here on the 2-day chart. Well, what you do is you measure the height of the pattern at the valley. We'll use this one. And then you figure, well, the distance that you're going to go from the point that you break down is going to equal about the height of the pattern. Now, I want you to see something. Where does that take us? That takes us right to the level that Bank of America is at today. Now, keep in mind, this is not the exact area where it's going to bounce. And certainly there are many double tops that start out like this, and they are actually the precursors or the harbinger of bear moves that last for years. And this has only gone on for 3.5 months. However, we are in an overall bull market, and that overall bull market will have a tendency to make this want to fulfill its minimum and then reverse. I just think that makes sense. That if the tide is coming in, that also affects the waves that are going out. So let's also look at a 1-day chart, because we'll get a little bit more detail on this. The way I was seeing this until the mortgage news hit, I was seeing this as a descending wedge, not constricting very much, but a descending wedge that tried to break out here when it reached about 14, but then the news hit, and Bank of America got slammed back down into that wedge pattern. You'll notice, if you draw the trend line on the bottom side of this wedge, that the day before yesterday, Bank of America hammered down on that bottom line, recovered, and then it slid back. What I would be looking for at this point, at minimum, would be a move of for Bank of America to come back up and test this upper line. And since it has now fulfilled the minimum requirement of this double top, I think you might be prepared to see this break out. We've also had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches on the bottom line of this descending pattern. That is that's a good bit of time that it is spent in this descent. So I think we definitely should see, barring some type of catastrophic fundamental shift in the business of Bank of America beyond what we already know. I think that we should see a bounce on this line and be prepared for a potential test of this, and maybe who knows, maybe even a breakout. So anyway, that's today's stock chart of the day. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you've liked this and would like to see more, come to freechartvideos.com, and we have a daily S&P update video. The S&P is really doing some neat things, and of course it's going to surprise me at some point. It's going to surprise everybody, but so far the S&P chart is really interesting. So stop by, take a look around. Thanks.